But in terms of corporation tax, there could be a huge unravelling there.
So Jonathan, following the UK's vote to leave the European Union, there has been plenty of question marks surrounding the topic. So what's next for UK businesses? What impact are we expecting this to have?
The biggest impact is going to be uncertainty, actually. Nobody knows how the business landscape will look when this eventually happens in 2 to 3 years' time. But what is killing business now is not knowing. So in the field I work in, which is tax law, you have tax legislation which has been thoroughly Europeanized over the last 20 to 30 years. Now, nobody knows whether that will be the case. So will it be the case that a UK company will be treated differently investing in Europe, or a European investor investing in the UK treated differently? We simply don't know, and that's really the biggest problem at the moment for business when making decisions.
And let's focus on that a little bit more. So what is the impact that it will have on UK businesses from the tax and fiscal policy side of things? And is it that other private businesses are now put off investing in the UK and setting up business there because no one does know?
Yeah, the uncertainty is really the danger. What's likely to happen, in my view, is that there'll be a negotiation and we will end up with things remaining pretty much where they are. But nobody knows that for certain. So you might be in a position where now investing in Europe for a UK company, you can invest in a company in France and be treated almost exactly the same as a French company, if not identically. And if that ceases to be the case, that could make a material difference to the return on investment for that UK company. And we simply don't know whether those rules that allow for equal treatment and a level playing field will survive or not. So that's really the biggest downside risk at the moment, and that will continue until we know what the scope of the negotiations are likely to be and we have a sense of where we'll end up.
And what kind of things are you expecting? So for example, VAT, are you expecting a change there? What's the outlook?
Yeah, there could be changes in VAT. Actually, that's one area where Britain really could go down a different path to the rest of its former partners in the European Union. But in terms of corporation tax, there could be a huge unravelling there. So now, for example, dividends can be paid between European companies with no withholding tax. You can relieve losses that you incur in one country in another European country. That potentially could all go. But as I say, my guess is that for corporates, the landscape will look pretty much the same outside of the EU. So a similar situation to Switzerland, where you almost have all the benefits, but you're not a full member of the European Union. That's where I suspect we will end up in 2 to 3 years' time. But as I say, the uncertainty is what is killing everybody at the moment.
And Switzerland is actually very appealing for foreign investors. So are you expecting this kind of investment appeal for the UK eventually? What are you expecting the outlook to be?
Yeah, eventually, yes. I mean, alternative asset managers originally thought, the market thought this was bad news. It may not be, because a lot of the rules, if you talk to investment managers, a lot of their frustrations are born of European directives that have been imposed on the UK. So it's quite possible that we have the scope in the UK now to create an attractive investment environment for investment managers, and that, is what Switzerland has done over the last few years, and you could see the UK do the same.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your insights.
Pleasure.
That's all from us here in the Geneva studios, but if you did like this interview, do like and comment on dukascopy.tv.